As the Knesset session nears its end, attention turns to the aftermath and the potential for a calm. And to shed light on the situation and the prospects for national unity, we turn to prominent attorney and journalist Ben Dror Yemini. Ben Dror, we're now a day after the post-reasonableness bill passed, and the sun shines just like yesterday. Has any fundamental change really happened to Israel?
Yeah, we have to bear in mind that the legislation of yesterday is only one stage in the long process that actually some Knesset members promise to continue. I mean, the legislation of yesterday about the reasonable bill is not going to destroy the Israeli democracy. Let's not exaggerate. What people are afraid of is there's so many declarations that they are going to continue. And mainly the very fact that there is a controversy in the Likud among the right-wingers, and eventually between Itamar Ben Gvir from the extreme right and Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, who is a kind of a moderate right. Netanyahu eventually decided to side with Ben Gvir. And this is what is frightening many people in Israel. It's not only the story of this particular legislation.
We really saw Gallant yesterday on live TV telling Bibi, just give me something. I really saw that live. But Netanyahu calling for talks, and we're heading toward the end of the Knesset session. Might things calm down now for a little while at least, or how do you see it going?
Unfortunately, I cannot tell you that I'm hopeful that something is going to change. Why? Because people already are experienced with Benjamin Netanyahu, and they do not trust him. And I mean, he did it to himself. I mean, with so many promises that he actually, he himself violated. And I mean, this is his way. So nobody is taking him seriously when yesterday he appealed to people and said, okay, let's talk and let's speak and we have to get a compromise. Come on, we could achieve a compromise. It was on the table. It was something that professors who are considered to be conservative, who are not big supporters of the Supreme Court. I mean, they put it on the table. And it was all rejected by the Constitution Commission of the Knesset. He knew it. He was part of it. So that's why it's not easy to accept what he said yesterday, calling for unity and that kind of stuff.
Ben Dror, much has been said for and also against reservists now refusing to serve in protest. Of course, I mean, there is pushback. Where does it stand? Are a large number of reservists ending their service? Is the threat still on? What's going on?
It's going on. Unfortunately, it's going on. And I have to admit, generally speaking, I'm supporting the protest. I'm not supporting this kind of refusal. I'm not supporting because actually it makes damage to the protest. Why? Because many right-wingers, I would even say that half of the voters of the Likud support in one way or another the not continuing the legislation. They support in a way even the protest. And those who refuse to serve in the army, actually what they do is they limit the support in the protest. So it is counterproductive, actually, yes, but some of them are going to implement what they said and to carry out this refusal, which is something that everybody is sorry about.
Really, it's a complex matter because if really the government surrenders, let's say, to the reservists saying we won't serve, I mean, how will it make the government look? I mean, in a way, you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. So that's exactly why the government.
I mean, right now,
and the
excuse me for
Minister,
interrupting. Right now, it's that. Tomorrow, it's something else. I mean, it can be anything.
Yeah, it can be anything. It can be anything, and that's exactly why we could prevent this kind of situation. When I'm saying we, I'm speaking about the government. I'm speaking about Benjamin Netanyahu. You knew exactly what you are facing. We all knew what we are facing. We are facing a threat that I do not like, a threat of refusal. And you knew it. So why not to get a compromise in order to straight things between coalition and opposition? And you know that when we are speaking about constitutional change, we need a much broader consensus comparing to any kind of other law. That, I mean, if you have 61 Knesset members, it's good enough, but not when we are speaking about a constitutional change. Doesn't he know it? Yeah, he should know it, and I guess he knows it. And unfortunately, he went all the way against the compromise.
Thank you so much, Ben Dror, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.